I'm stepping away from our usual topics today to share something deeply personal. 6 years ago, I had a major stroke that changed my life. This past December, I presented to my Rotary Club the surprising science of how I recovered and what I'm doing to prevent it from happening again. Because of the incredible response to that talk, I launched a new series, Elton's Stroke Story, which follows my journey over the last 6 years. I'm playing that original story from that Rotary meeting for you today because I care about this community and you and your family's well-being. I invite you to follow my journey. It can be found on most podcasting services and YouTube. Once again, it's called Elton's Stroke Story. I hope you find today's episode interesting as well as informative. I'm Elton Sherwin. This is a story about the stroke that changed my life and what I've learned since. This podcast can be summarized into 2 key messages. The first, if you think you might be having a stroke, go immediately to the ER. Don't wait. Even if your symptoms go away, go to the ER immediately. And secondly, get your bad cholesterol, your LDL, below 70. Here is my story. 3 months before my stroke, I had been given a clean bill of health. My total cholesterol was labeled 194, normal and desirable. My LDL was 123. It turns out that what is normal for Americans is neither healthy nor desirable. 3 months after my clean bill of health, on the morning of December 4th, 2019, shortly after 7 a.m., I had a stroke that left the right side of my body partially paralyzed. My daughter quickly drove me to the Stanford ER, and by 8 a.m., less than an hour after my stroke, I had been given an injection of TPA, a clot-busting enzyme. How did I know that I was having a stroke? Well, my balance was off, my face was drooping, my arms, my hand, and my leg were all weak, and my speech was slurred. You should be checked out even if you have a single one of these warning signs. Problems with balance, vision, face droop, arm weakness, or slurred speech. I recently found a video taken 2 weeks after my stroke of me unable to catch a blue tennis ball thrown 4 inches into the air. This video was a sobering reminder of how close I came to being permanently disabled. Every time I visit the Stanford Neurology Clinic, I see people who did not go to the ER. They didn't have time to be checked from their busy schedule. They didn't want to bother anyone, or they wanted to wait to see if the symptoms would go away by themselves. Even if your symptoms stop, you should still go to the ER ASAP. Intermittent symptoms can be precursors to a full stroke. You don't want to wait. A stroke can leave you unable to speak, unable to work. Your spouse might have to quit their job. Care expenses can exceed $100,000 a year. Time matters. Time is brain. You want to get to the ER and be assessed by a medical professional as quickly as possible. Don't drive yourself. Call 911. Don't go to urgent care. Most urgent care facilities will just send you to the ER. If you think you might be having a stroke, you get to cut in line. When you pull up to the curb at the ER, roll down the window and scream, "I'm having a stroke," or "I think my colleague is having a stroke." They should see you immediately. And if they don't, keep repeating it. Brain cells die during a stroke. Every minute counts. Don't let your memories or your smile or your ability to walk or your ability to talk or the ability to use your hands slip away because you're too polite. A medical professional should immediately give you a quick stroke assessment, usually checking your smile, your eyes, your speech, your grip, your balance, and your face, and then send you for a scan. And if there's a blood clot in your brain, as there are in about 90% of strokes, you typically will be injected with a clot-busting drug. 47 minutes after my stroke, I was given TPA. I was still in the scanner. Minutes really matter. Now, if you're having a brain bleed or a TIA or something else, it will play out a bit differently. My wife's observation, I could see your smile returning, your face droop disappearing as the TPA dissolved the clot. It was that fast. It was that miraculous. But only if you get to the ER quickly. Most people wait far, far too long. 2 days later, I went home in a wheelchair and a walker. During the first week, I went to my daughter's graduation in a wheelchair, and I started therapy. The first year, I had a mix of over 40 sessions of speech, occupational, and physical therapy at Sequoia Hospital and Diablo West Physical Therapy. My function continued to improve over 4 years. Not as fast as the first 90 days or 6 months, but I was able to regain my ability to walk, to drive, to swim, and to bicycle. I continued producing podcasts. For 4 years, I did not know that I could cut my risk of a repeat stroke just by eating more fruit, more vegetables, and less salt. The book, How Not to Die, changed my life. I learned that 90% of strokes and heart attacks are preventable. And I learned about the many easy things that I could do to avoid a stroke, dementia, heart attack, diabetes, and cancer. Today, I eat a very different diet, more diverse, more exciting diet, more plant-centered. Today, my blood looks very different. My LDL, my bad cholesterol, is at 55. Pre-stroke, it was at 123. Optimal is below 70. I would like to live for another few decades. And because I would like you to be a part of that journey, I encourage you to do 3 things. Get your LDL below 70, get How Not to Die or the audiobook, and listen to just 3 chapters. The chapters on heart disease, breast cancer, and prostate cancer. And share this story with those that you love. 2 more things that you can do to lower your cholesterol and help prevent heart attacks, strokes, and dementia. 1 are statin pills, Lipitor, Crestor, etc. They're cheap. And the other is you can improve your diet. And there are surprisingly easy changes that can add years to your life. More fruits, more berries, more greens, nuts, beans, veggies, and whole grains. And less salt, less processed meat, saturated fat, butter, eggs, sugar, fast food, and junk. Some additional ways you can lower your cholesterol are the new PCSK9 inhibitors. These are the cholesterol-lowering shots that can be expensive, but they're very effective. GLP-1 weight loss drugs that are so much in the news, or bariatric surgery. My recommendation, and I'm not a medical professional, but my recommendation, if your LDL is above 70, modify your diet. Be tested every 90 days until you get it down below 70. And if your LDL stays above 70, talk with your doctor about a statin. And if a diet and statin doesn't get you below 70, consider the PCSK9 shots or the GLP-1 weight loss or the bariatric surgery. I was shocked when I saw images of veins with plaque buildup in brains of people who ate high-fat diets like I did. When I saw the images, I stopped eating deep-fried food. I went cold turkey one day, saw the pictures, and I stopped eating deep-fried foods. Within weeks of changing my diet, I noticed I was less anxious, and I had better reaction time. Perhaps it was all in my mind. Now I focus on 3 numbers during my annual physical: keeping my blood sugar, my A1C, the 90-day blood sugar average, below 5.7, my LDL, cholesterol, bad cholesterol, under 70, and my blood pressure below 117 for optimal health, because I want to attend my grandchildren's weddings. So there are a number of proven programs out there that can prevent you having to spend a lifetime on drugs or have surgery. I was never told. Many people don't know about these options. One of the most famous is the Cleveland Clinic's Heart Disease Reversal Program. $1,200, not paid by insurance. I would certainly check it out before I had elective heart surgery. Then right here in Marin County, Dr. Ornish's program for reversing heart disease. That program you can take online. Many insurance programs do pay for it, and it has better outcomes than drugs or surgery in many instances. 2 programs that I did discover, and they did change my life. One from Better Health, BETR Health. Blue Shield's Medicare supplement paid for it. I lost 30 pounds. My wife and I did it together. And Dr. Michael Greger's book, How Not to Die. It was life-changing. A 1-page meal plan. Their green light foods, their yellow light foods, and their red light foods. There's an app, free, no in-app purchases. Takes a minute a day, maybe 2.
The app is called The Daily Dozen. It tracks the 12 foods you should eat every day. The Daily Dozen, free in the Google and iPhone app stores.
If you or a family member has heart disease, hypertension, diabetes, cancer, or brain disease, read the corresponding chapter in How Not to Die. And if you have a family member who suffers from depression or schizophrenia, please listen to the new Zoe podcast, that's ZOE, and it's called How Food Can Improve Your Mood. It was an eye-opening podcast for me. It's never too late to change. I think the evidence shows that for the vast majority of American adults, people that have grown up on the American diet, optimal health requires blood sugar, A1C under 5.7, LDL under 70, and blood pressure below 117. Many medical professionals are comfortable with higher numbers. Work with your doctor. I'm not a medical professional, but I had a stroke, and I've learned a lot of things since then. Take action. Dr. Michael Greger's book, its app, and the red light, green light foods is the easiest with its focus on improvement and not perfection. And it's free. Better Health is a more structured program. Insurance may cover it, and it's a great way to switch from processed foods to lifelong healthier eating and to lose weight along the way. For people with heart disease, the $1,200 one-day program at the Cleveland Clinic or the Ornish online program are both structured and very demanding, but they have a long track record of saving lives. Both the Cleveland Clinic and the Ornish program have brought people back from the brink of death. Several of these programs have also helped with high blood pressure, diabetes, some dementias, and some cancers. And if none of these work for you, there are other options, including drugs and surgery. Work with your doctor. You can do this. I'm not affiliated with any of these organizations, nor have I been paid to mention them. I would like to live another few decades, and because I would like you to be part of that journey, I encourage you to take action if your numbers are high. You don't want to wake up one morning unable to use half of your body, or unable to talk, or unable to read. So, take out your phone right now and look up the results of your last blood test. And if your LDL is above 70, install the Daily Dozen app on your phone, read 3 chapters in How Not to Die, and change your diet. And then, in 90 days, get tested again. And if your LDL is still above 70, make an appointment with your doctor and develop a plan to get your LDL down below 70. And remember, I'm not a medical professional. This advice may not be appropriate for everyone. As always, work with your doctor. This is Elton Sherwin. Thanks for making this podcast part of your day. I invite you to follow my journey. It can be found on most podcasting services and YouTube. Once again, it's called Elton's Stroke Story. Please subscribe and recommend us to your friends and family. Join us next time. Meanwhile, stay safe and stay healthy.